time, I want to say, but it should just like let you know that it is in fact recording.
I see
Um,
it. Yeah, it
yeah,
says
yeah,
we're live.
yeah. She said Sensei's.
Sensei's teachings. That's what they call it. You can get it on like the Apple podcast thing.
We gotta find it. Oh, there it is. Okay, all right. I'll figure this out later. The Yeah, that's like dude, I have been using like like ChatGPT is like a little assistant effectively, right? Like it is so nice because you're like, oh, something's in Italian completely. You can literally just give it a link and be like, can you convert this to English and then just read it out loud to me? And it will. It's fantastic. I used it so much. Like when we were in Rome, right? I don't know anything about like wine at all. Like I don't drink, but like one night I was like, let's get a glass of wine to go with our pasta. Took a picture of the menu, took a picture and told it, hey, I'm having like this pasta, and then took a picture of the wine list and was like, what wine goes with this that's served by the glass? And it's like, here are your three options. Here's how they taste. Go for it. I was like, fuck yes.
That's crazy, man. I don't know. AI kind of terrifies me, man. It's like we're living in the Matrix. Like,
Oh
it's
yeah,
like,
it's gonna get worse. It's gonna get worse. It's gonna get worse.
yeah, no, I work in like the university at a university, so it's definitely something way different once it gets put out there in the hands of students and all kinds of stuff. It's
That
just like,
that box has already been opened. I don't know. Like,
yeah,
do you guys like do you guys like AI check your work? Like, there are sites out there that will like let you know if somebody wrote it by hand or like by AI. I don't know
there's
how it
like
tells, but
there's various things out there, but I know just in general, a lot of those things don't often work. I know there's
okay,
like, out there's been experiments done where they like, try to test that software at places, and it's the reverse. It'll say like kind of essay written by a real person was an AI generated thing. Then the AI generated one will come back as like, oh yeah, that's a legit like person. So I think there's a lot, that they're kind of doing, but it's just, yeah, it's a whole new frontier, like, just as a parent, and then as like a teacher and stuff. So I don't really teach many of the undergrad classes. I teach more of graduate students, so it's kind of like, I don't know if it's
you can't fake it. Yeah,
filtered up to that level yet or not. Like, I don't know, like we're just in a new sort of territory anyway.
dude. When we stop recording, I'll show you some stuff. I'll share my screen. It's it can do some wild things. Okay, but let's talk about the what we're really here to talk about. First off, congratulations! I think you are the newest Chaos Orb patch member. Is that a true statement?
Yeah, there was one guy that flipped after me in that same tournament. So I guess his name
Uh
was Caleb. I guess he would be the newest, but I think we both did him that day. I don't know if anybody flipped after Thrash Bash, though. I don't know if any of the kind of people were at some of these other tournaments that have happened. But yes, thank you. I did get my patch. I'm in the no miss club. I didn't miss a
ooh,
single flip,
ooh.
which is good because I only bet one shot because I'm not a heavy drinker. Um, I did way better than I thought. I really didn't think I was going to kind of make it, and it's definitely was like it was a really fun experience. Like that was more fun than the tournament. It was like so exciting, but it's kind of like a pressure, There's a lot of people
Yes.
watching you. I did it like at the TO table. I like do the pairings and check the people in. I just did it in between matches, so there was quite a few people milling around, counting out loud.
Ugh. Yeah, I've attempted once and it did not go well. I did not make it. But I feel that pain of the just like absolute anxiety of trying to do it in front of like 30 other dudes. The So talking Thrash Bash ended what, a month ago now? It's October, little over a month, a little over a month.
Yeah, we were I think around the 14th of September
Yeah.
might have been the tournament, something like that. Yeah.
How did so Friday was the special event? I was perusing through the Discord. It looks like quite a lot of AAA went down. How did the Daggers tournament go? So we can follow up on that one.
Yeah, so it was our first time for the Order of the Dagger. So if you don't come to the Thrash Bash, right, it's all based on this movie. But if you top four any year, you get inducted into the Order of the Dagger, which is the kind of skate gang. So we tried a single elimination Swedish tournament the night before, and Kyle Wells was the winner. Like he made
Ooh,
it
nice.
all
Okay.
the way through. It was pretty good. Not every single dagger returned for like the bracket, but after this year, now we got four more people. I think all the top four this year were all new top
Nice.
fours. So It's a number that can like grow or stay static just depending on how well people place. But it was pretty fun. And then, yeah, those guys from Cincinnati, the Ebon Hand, decided to run their own sort of side event the night before. And that was like the AAA thing.
Okay.
So that was a little interesting because I didn't have anything to do with the organizing of that, but it was, for the people. But it kind of like obliterated the normal kind of Friday night meetup. Was usually we would play 7 Point because it's a really good casual format. Like people can meet each other and hang out and stuff. So I don't know if we'll ever do the 7 Point hash sesh again because so many people love the ante. I mean, it was crazy. There was that guy from St. Louis, Noah. He brought all of these like packs that he made.
Yes.
He
Oh, that
brought
was
some kind of
okay. Yeah, you're already
sealer
leading into it. Yeah. I heard those
and
packs are
then
like hard as fuck to open. I'm like super jealous because I have not seen one yet, but I've heard stories that they're like almost impossible to open.
they were pretty hard to open. He gave me a couple, so I opened mine. I'm not gonna like say that I wanted to see what was in it. It was interesting. Yeah, there's like a kind of a range of cards. He stamped them all. He has like his own stamp or whatever they put on there, and then there's like some altars as well. That people have donated. I think whatever people donate, he puts them in there. So that was kind of neat. Like, yeah, he just kind of did that on his own. He's like,
Huh.
"You buy it if I bring these?" I'm like, "Sure." Then he gave one to every single person at the tournament. Like when they, checked in, there was just like this batch of packs. So he was extremely generous with that, and that was really nice of him to do it. So yeah, thanks Noah. That was a really cool addition. So yeah, Friday was pretty good, but yeah, I don't know what's going to happen in the future. I think like if they're going to run this anti thing, maybe we'll find a way to streamline it into the charity. If people are going to up it a little bit, that might be kind of cool. And then the daggers game was pretty awesome. I lost first round, single elimination. So I didn't have
Dude, I love the single
too much in
elimination.
there.
Yeah, just like, all right, we're good. Just end it. It's
Yeah, I think Kyle was on a dreams combo, maybe. Might have been what he was doing, some sort of dreams, like tricks, hijinks. I tried mono green and, got beat out. And then there was a couple other players in there too. There might have been like 5 or 6 of us that returned for that one.
nice, nice.
So it was small. Next year it'll be bigger. It'll probably be double the size next year.
Oh, exciting. I'm okay. So obviously you're going to run it back again next year. Same time frame, or wait,
I hope so.
you're waiting on a basketball or football schedule, right?
Football,
Okay.
yeah, the home football schedule here is really the determiner of when, because you cannot have this thing when there's a home game. I
It's
mean, like
impossible. Yeah.
hotel prices will be like 5 times the normal. They'll all be booked. Like it's not a good time to have out of towners come in
Right.
on game day if they're not going to the game. So like there's that. Fall is usually the time I like to do it, and then we'll see. I just saw. I listened to the Mano's podcast, and I
Yeah.
saw that they're going to do the WinCon in Boston in the fall. And that would be really fun to go to, but we'll just sort of see how it works out. Like, I don't know if I could swing two tournaments in a Boston trip in a month, but I would love to go out there if possible.
Yeah. I think it's going to be big, and it'll be interesting because it'll be Swedish with American reprints and all that stuff.
Yeah,
It'll. I don't even know what I haven't even wrapped my mind around that yet, but luckily I got like almost a year to figure it out. All right, so that was Friday. Talk me through Saturday. I have a couple of like feeder questions that I hastily
yeah,
typed up. Um, Usual stuff, standout moments. Having run the tournament twice, right?
yeah.
Or
This was number 3.
changes in the future, stuff like that. Like what's gonna, and then I have one like more general question. I'll ask you here in a little bit, but yeah, basically like, did it run well? Did What do you think you'll change for the future? Stuff like that.
It was pretty smooth. It's kind of like we got a nice lockdown. Whenever you organize these things, like the venue is such a hard
It's
thing
a hard
to
part.
like
Yep.
to navigate, and like once you have like a good relationship with like a vendor and a venue, like you don't want to lose that,
Right.
and it's really good to continue. So this one, it was really easy in the venue planning side of things compared to the prior years, because basically it's just kind of like, yeah, we'll do what we did last year.
Nice. Okay.
And I didn't really increase the size of the tournament exponentially. We had 42 sign up. I had 2 people that no showed, which was a bummer,
Hmm.
because I could have given those spots to someone on the wait list if I knew they weren't coming, which they clearly knew they weren't going to come, and they didn't say anything, which was kind of a bummer because you can't double sell it if they don't tell me that they're
Right.
dropping, it's
Yeah.
kind of like, well, they could decide to roll in at, you know, 10 a.m. and be ready to go. So we had 40 people, but I think I had planned for 42 for this one, and that is our largest number, or tied. I think we had like 40 last year. And then the food is just kind of taken care of. Like your price gets you lunch, and it's like a buffet that gets set up, and so the venue was like really really smooth. The check-in was really smooth, and the games were pretty good too. We kind of only went to time a few times,
Who
so I don't know. Yeah, go ahead.
oh, it's saying who won?
The winner this time was Eric Westfall. He lives in he's in Indiana, maybe like 4 hours away from here. He's like the very southern part of
Gotcha. Okay.
Indiana. He's come every year. He won. I want to say he might have been on some kind of Sedge Troll build.
Okay.
Um, and he was, I think, tied with, might have been Noah. They were both kind of, I think, went to tiebreakers. Like I don't do like a top 8 or a top 4.
It's irrelevant. Yeah, it's not worth it. Like a straight Swiss is like where it's at. Love it.
Especially with this, man. I mean, there's guys that drive in from like Chicago or Ohio, and people need to be getting back like
Yeah.
when it's
Yeah. Yeah.
done. And so I don't have any plans to ever do like a top 4 or top 8 kind of playoffs for the size of this tournament. And I
The
don't know, like, yeah,
oh, I
like
was gonna say
making
like
it.
yeah.
Go
Oh,
ahead.
sorry. The tournament structure stuff. I'll have to have him back on, but God, he's in New Jersey now. He was in Texas. He talked about like Swiss plus one or Swiss minus one as a way to like definitively figure out for like smaller events. I think that is absolutely like the way to do it for these like small events. I can't, man, literally, man, he puts out a tournament report an hour after he's done with the tournament. I should be able to remember this guy's name. And now just because I'm recording, I won't be able to.
Oh wait, is this Ty? Is
Yeah,
his name
it's
Ty?
Ty. It's
Yeah,
Ty. Yep.
yeah. He murdered me in a derby once. I met that guy online, like in one of
He's
the
also a good
like
player.
winter
But
derby.
he's really smart too. But like, yeah,
Yeah, he like ATOG'd me to death. I remember this. Yeah.
he has some thoughts on like Swiss plus one and Swiss minus one, and like how to use that for like smaller tournaments to like figure out winners faster. I guess is
What would be Swiss -1? I guess I don't
you
understand
you
that.
literally would have to ask him. I
Okay.
am not like homie. That's not what I do. I like literally like help people out of bed and back to bed for a living. That's I don't
Yeah.
yeah. So, but anyhow, that's all. Like, yeah, I agree. I think top 4, top 8, top 6, whatever it's going to be, is out for these smaller tournaments. It's straight Swiss is the way to go. Absolutely.
Yeah, and people wanna, like, hang out and stuff.
Yep.
There's a lot of the same people recur, which is nice, but we still get, like, new people. Not everybody comes back every year. So I kinda like that. It's a nice balance of, like, people that love to come every year. Like, there's guys that have been coming for every single one, but then there's some other people that kinda just maybe I don't know if they'll come again. They may have just come to one of the tournaments, and maybe they won't come back out again. We did have a couple other new things this year. That dude, Joe Singer, was here,
Yeah.
and he like runs like a stream, I guess. I've never actually seen it, but he told me about it, and he wanted to like stream stuff.
Yeah.
So I was just like, that's fine. As long as I don't have to plan anything, like you can do it. Like, what do you need? He's like, I just need an outlet and I'll bring all my stuff. And I said, yeah, that's fine. So we just found some table that was near like an outlet. Cause like the way the venue is, it's like this historic mansion,
Yeah.
from like the Studebaker family. So there's not like plugs everywhere. Like,
Right.
there's
Yeah.
only
Yeah.
a few areas where you could actually plug something in by a table. So whatever table that was got streamed. So it might have been like table 10 or something. So it's not like it was like really doing the top tables, but we moved the final there. So he did record like the final between Eric and Noah. I don't know if he's put those online. So I guess that was kind of new this year. We had like a featured stream table for anyone that wanted to watch it. Um, but yeah, that was kind of the only thing that was really different.
Nice.
And we didn't have Susan was not able to come, so we didn't have an artist this year because she's going to LobsterCon like the next week. So I'm hoping maybe in the future, if it's not gonna intersect, it's cool to have her here.
Absolutely. Yeah. And it's beneficial both ways, right? Like we can get card signed and they like are able to like make money on this thing that they have like put out years ago and just like still continue to see the benefit of that, which is nice.
Yeah, it's nice because I like it. Like, I don't know, I don't want this to be an event that draws people solely based on, oh, there's going to be like some various artists there.
Mhm.
but it is nice if you can get them. And she is somewhat local to the area, so it's really nice. Like it didn't cost anything for her to come down,
Nice.
and do it. But I know if I wanted to get like somebody else, then you start getting into these other costs of like, do you fly them out? Do you put them up in a hotel? Like,
Yep.
and we're not making like a ton of money on this, and I really want the charity to like get as much. Like they're really thankful. Like the guy called me on the phone like the next day after the donation and was just like, this is amazing. And he kind of told us the impact of our gift. We play for a local food bank
Yep.
that, kind of sends food with kids that are on like the school lunch programs in the public schools so they could eat over the weekend. And it was something crazy. Like our gift fed like over 800 kids in the area.
That's what's up, dude.
Um,
Yep.
just for like that, afternoon of like playing some EC. So I thought that was really nice. And they like, every year they send me like a thank you, and they're very appreciative because they're local, and I think any donation helps. So I kind of like that. I don't want anything that's going to detract from that like charity. If anything, it's nice if we could bump up stuff to increase our donation to the cause.
Yep. I love to hear it. That's probably like the best part, right? Like, I mean, we could sit down and play nerd cards anytime, but like getting able to raise like enough donations to feed 800 children, I think is like the bigger story behind it, right? Like, I don't know. That's just my thoughts.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, you got that. Then you just got like the hangouts. I mean, like I was playing like mono white Karma Tomb for like this tournament, and I was in like one of my matches with one of the Evan Hand guys, and like I remember like after game one, I was like, "Who won that last one?" He's like, "Oh, you mean the one where you had 72 life and won?" I'm like, "Oh yeah."
Yeah.
It's just like I'm not even paying attention by that point. I was like so brain dead. It's like the last round of the day. You're just having a good time.
Fantastic. Let me make sure. What do you think you're going to do different 2025?
I don't
If
know.
anything, honestly.
I would like to see if I could get like some artists there. I know that I don't know him, but I know he Randy Asplund
Hmm.
Faith, the guy that did like Detonate and Sorrow's
Yeah.
Path. I think he is in Michigan,
Huh.
and that's not that far either. So, but again, I don't know what that's going to cost. And right now the event kind of plans itself
Right.
pretty quickly once I can lock the dates down. But it would be nice to be able to increase the participation, but I don't want it to be like a giant event. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So like that's the balance for me, is kind of like it would be nice if there was like some more spots, because more people want to come than usually I have spots for.
Right. Right.
But
Yeah.
not tremendously. Like this year the wait list was not super huge. Whereas last year there was like 20 people on the wait list. It might have had something to do with LobsterCon being like the next week.
Right.
Like,
Right.
in the past, like people didn't have to choose, because I think that's when Dave was running LC in the summertime.
Hmm.
But now if he's back on the fall, like that will, I think, kind of affect if people are going to travel.
Yeah. I still think like there's room for both, right? Like I still think like the 40 to 60 person tournament is the sweet spot for old school. Uh, the big ones are obviously really cool, uh, but I think it's possible to talk to everybody, and like it has like a more personable connection when you're in that 40 to 60 range. As a pair, like I mean, he threw the biggest tournament and raised an incredible amount of money, but I don't think you could possibly talk to 200 plus people in 48 hours or whatever 3 days, whatever it is.
Oh man, he deserves a medal for that. I
Yeah.
can't imagine organizing something of that magnitude. I mean, like it just seems like that would be like an insane task. I hope people are really, really
Yeah.
appreciative of the labors it would take
Yeah,
something on that
it's
scale.
insane. He like literally was running like two locations. Like it's the footwork behind it is is incredible, and basically for $0, right? Like literally not taking a cut off the top.
For us, it'd be like I would maybe like 5 to 10 more people might be the type of increase I would max out as. The problem is like the space that we're in. It's really nice. We have the upstairs part
Yeah.
of this place, and we have what's called the master bedroom and the nursery. Like they name all the rooms based on like what they like originally were, and it's right next to the bar. As well, so people can go out and get their own drinks. But we about max that out at like 42. I might be able to get like 44 in there, But I think if I wanted to go 45 to 50, we'd have to look at a different space in the same mansion,
Hmm.
which might be like the basement area. But then it might be like too big for that number. So like, the kind of space constraints on the venue also kind of how I'm doing it. But if people want to come, I would love it if there would be a spot for them.
Yeah.
Get some guests in. Like, if like you guys ever came out from the West Coast, I would want to make sure that you can get in.
Well, I'm tempted. I already said that I wasn't going to travel for 2025, and I already have 3 things booked for 2025. I was like, no, I'm not going anywhere, and I'm already booked out. So we'll see, because I I like the smaller. I think I like the smaller tournaments better, right? But there's also like LobsterCon being a shark this year. There's an incentive there. Not that I think I could win or even play well, but it would be interesting to see that. But
I
that's
think it
not.
would be really
Yeah,
fun. Yeah, I think it would be really fun to go out there and I'll see. But again, like travel is just hard in general,
exactly.
for for us, like maybe Boston's not super far from the Midwest, but it's expensively far from the mid
Yes,
from the Midwest.
that's like it's like I from the West Coast. It's similar. It's like you can go to Europe or you can go to Boston. It's the same cost. Like
Yeah, I mean, between that and housing, it's like, is that going to be like my kid's tuition for a year? You know what I mean? Like, choices, right?
you're going to a state school now. Oh, okay. The speaking, so you were talking about your spicy decks, right? Obviously, I think you're playing something a little bit spicy. I would say probably fairly spicy. Anybody else playing anything good?
There was some kind of crazy decks. So I think like, there was some people that were like really trying to go for the spice. So like one of the prizes I give out is the most hesh. And it's kind of like a spice prize, but not quite.
Right.
Because, I think there's a lot of people that really enjoy kind of doing the spicier, kind of weirder stuff. But the way that my mind works is like you should always have fun playing Magic, but like trying to win is like kind of, but not in an unfun way, right? Not where you're just going to be like a huge dick and like do all this stuff. But, to me, it's like spicy if it's unusual, but also like works.
Right.
You could just put a bunch of weird cards in and go like 0 and 5, and it's like, eh. So I kind of like to see like, but with the most hash, it's a little more about the attitude of the deck. So the guy that won that was not on something particularly spicy at all.
Okay.
I gave that one to John Burney. He's one of the Cleveland guys, and he was just doing like a straight up like black green nether void land destruction, like
Yeah.
F your mana sources. And to me, that's like that was hesh. Like that was like, just not giving any fucks whatsoever and just being like totally reckless on there. Some of the spicier stuff, there were these Ebon Hand dudes trying to play with Raiding Party, like like Fallen Empire cards
I
where,
don't even know what that card does. I have to write that one down.
it almost got me because I played that deck in my final round. I was on mono white. It's something where it's like an enchantment, and it's orc related. And you can basically, I think it's like you might sack an orc and then you can destroy all the planes in play. Let me look it up real fast. Um,
I'm gonna share my screen just so we
it's a
can
Quentin
do this.
Hoover art, Let's see. Yeah, sacrifice an orc, and then each player may tap any number of untapped white creatures they control. For each creature tapped this way, that player chooses up to 2 planes, then destroy all planes that weren't chosen. So I was creatureless, so that card would have actually just wrecked me. He never got it off though, so that was like pretty spicy. But I don't think he was able to kind of get it off. And I think he was like magical hacking it, right, to try to like make planes like other land types. So what happened is he actually magical hacked my Karma Tomb to make mountains.
Huh.
So, my Cyclopean Tomb became like kind of useless against like a red deck. you know,
Interesting.
he had blue, so I was just turning like his Volks into mountains instead, to cut him off. But that was kind of spicy. But there was like 2 decks like that, both from the Ebon Hand guys. But there was some other stuff too. But yeah, I like John's for the most hesh. Like it was pretty good. It was pretty reckless, and I like that. I like to see that. You get
Yeah,
Erg Raiders.
I like the like you have like top 8, you have like X many spicy deck awards, right? Then I like what I'll call the best deck, or like in your case the most hash, right? Like it's just a deck that like is the best, and it's like very like not defined on what that is, but you like when you see it, you're like, that's it. That's what we need
Yeah,
to
that's pretty much
acknowledge
how
here.
I how I adjudicate it is like I look at it, see like did they like win anything, right? Not like you have to win, but like
Right.
and that's all who puts their pictures in. There's other decks too, but if guys don't submit it early enough, like I won't see it when it's time to make the call. If they put it only after the tournament, it's like, well,
Too
okay,
late. Sorry,
maybe
bud.
next year if you post it a bit earlier. But yeah, so like, and then there was like the top four. I think two of them were similar. They're almost mirrored. I think these like troll based decks. One of them was a mono black deck, was also in the top four,
Hmm.
and I love to see that. And then I forget who the other one was. I'd have to look at the results,
They can
but
look
that
at them
was
later.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. They're on. It's in the Discord.
Exactly. What else? What else do we want to talk about? Did we get there?
Well,
Did we do it? I don't know.
I don't know. Maybe I'm trying to think. Like that was pretty much it. It was a great tournament. I think there's like a couple people wrote reports. If you're that curious, they wrote like their own kind of personal reports. I didn't do an organizer's report this year.
Good.
I
Don't
know
do it.
Lorian wrote one. It's on the Lords of the Pit website where he kind of talks about his matchups and kind of the day, and it was really cool. And then I think what's his name, Noah wrote something somewhere too about his. It's kind of like, let's see. You could read Lorian's. I would not read Noah's if you're at work. He kind of falls into
Okay.
that like
All right.
let's draw like genitalia on cards sort of thing for Ante. And personally, I can't stand that at all. Like like that's kind of the one thing is like I made a no dicks rule for this tournament when you're
Okay.
doing people's kind of like prize cards. Like everybody gets a card. I'll give you like a hymn to Torak that's stamped. It's always the wolf hymn.
I
People
got one.
usually
It's
just
in my cube now. Yep.
exactly. I mailed you some. They get, or you bring out your own cards to get SIGs, and it's to the point after the 1 year where now I felt like I have to say, like, please don't draw a penis on this card. People could do whatever they want with anti. Usually to me that thing fits with the way that some people enjoy doing their anti alters and like whatever. But like just for your average prize card, like to me, it's like what a way to ruin somebody's prize card because now they're not going to show it to their kids if their kids want to
Yeah.
see a picture of the cards or they have to look at it or what if it's like often you get a card that you actually want to play
Right.
signed. I did like a beta disenchant because I was running it and no one ever to sign it. I would have been really pissed. So there's some people that I had to say specifically do not draw a dick on this card. Do whatever you want in ante, like I don't adjudicate that whatsoever. But to me, it's kind of like, come on. So,
It's
I know if
overdone.
you read
It's overdone.
if you read Noah's report, I think you're going to see some male anatomy on some cards. But Lorian's is like a good write up where it is work safe. I think.
Okay.
Um,
Okay. Good to know. Good to know. Yeah. I'll have to look. I'll look at both. But I think I agree. I think the dick is not in anymore. It should be out. We should have less of that. I don't know. I think it's just been overdone. It's too much.
yeah, I'm not an anti-player, so like I've never gotten into that. Like I've never played AAA. I know people like it a lot, and I've never done 40K. 40K looks like it would be fun. I've just never assembled a deck nor been around a place where there would be people, right, to kind of actually play 40K. But again, I don't think I would ever deface a card in that way. I would do something more interesting, more
Yeah.
interesting. Uh,
To be fair,
but
I
that's
am.
just me,
Yeah.
I'm not hating on the people that love dick alters. Like,
No,
go for it if you
I'll
dig
hate
it.
on him a little bit. I'll fuck it. I'll hate on him.
Yeah.
I agree, but I'm also the pot calling the kettle black because I have like zero artistic skill. There's a really bad chaos orb in the upper right there. That's about my skill level. So I stamp cards when I lose them in ante, and I feel like it's along the same vein, which is a pun intended. That it's like it gets old, but I also like have zero skill to be able to draw. So it's like either receive a card with nothing or receive a card with a small stamp on it. That's all I got because I had no. I mean, yeah, I could draw a dick, but like again, I think it's overdone.
I think there's a lot out there. I think if you want to win some of those, there's probably a lot
Yeah,
circulating in the anti pools, right?
huge
You know,
population, huge population.
But like for regular tournament cards, that's just where I'm at. And like that one I will be like, no, I mean it's not really been a problem. Like, people tend to be respected. But to me, that's the one thing where I would like not invite somebody back if they like, you know, deface somebody's card who didn't want a dick on it. If like, here, sign my Juzam, and then they like draw a dick on it. I would be like so furious. Um,
Yes, I think I agree with that statement. I'm
yeah.
trying to think. I have my I don't think I've ever. I don't like the card I usually like. I'm like, hey, so everybody try and get everybody to sign. I don't think I've ever had a dick drawn on one of those. It's usually just SIGs. A couple people have like special like little SIG illustrations that they draw, but like nothing phallic related, I guess. But
Yeah, it happened to me once, not this Thrash Bash, but at Thrash Bash 2 the night
mhm.
before when we were signing 7 point, there was somebody that did that. And that was now what made me have to
That's the impetus.
make
That's the starting
make
point.
this rule.
Yeah.
And I was just like, this is not anti, man. So I got someone else from his club who was signing it next to sign over it. Because it wasn't even like a good card. It was like Clergy of the Holy Nimbus because I was playing 7 point.
Sure.
And it's a good white one. So it's not like that card is a high value card. But at the same time, I got everybody's signatures on there. You can't really see it now, but I was like kind of mad actually. I didn't say anything to him then because it's not worth like,
Right.
it wasn't that big of a deal. But going forward now, it's like I gotta like explicitly state that, like in the instructions when I check you in, because there's others that I think have that same opinion. If they're not just giving a basic land out there, you intend to play the cards as a memento.
No, I think I'm in agreement. I think I'm in agreement. Um, yeah. All right. How do you want to close this out? I have no exit
I
plan,
don't know, man.
just like foreign
Yeah,
policy.
exit plan is come out to the Thrash Bash next year. It'll be
Yes.
advertised at some point. I usually post it in the summer, maybe a little earlier. It just depends whenever I could lock down a date that works for my life and the schedule.
Yeah.
I will try not to have it on the same day as like the old school championships in Boston. I will do my best to not have it be on that day. Dave has called that day, so I'm going to try to not make any competition because I also would like to be there if possible. But
That's what's up.
who knows how that's going to work? Yeah.
All right. All right. I'm gonna stop the recording now. Hold on.